No. I am not buying you a tiara. God, leave me be.
I love tiaras. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Why Bother podcast. I'm Phil.
I'm Michelle.
What else am I supposed to say?
What episode is it?
22?
Nope, 23.
23.
I'm sorry. We all make mistakes. Episode 23. Hi, everyone. Well, it is Sunday night. I'm guessing we're going to air this tomorrow.
Hopefully.
Okay. So it will be tomorrow when it airs. It'll be the day before the election.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to be honest with you.
Uh-huh.
A little more worried than I was the last podcast.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm thinking now it's more like a 50-50 shot.
It could be.
I watch a lot of coverage on a lot of different networks. Ones that I agree with, ones I do not. The ones that lean left, the ones that lean right, the ones that are supposedly in the middle. And it just seems like it's 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a little worried.
Well, what's the worst that can happen?
Please don't ask that question. Not this year. Last year you could have asked that question. But then this year would have happened and I would have been mad at you for asking that question. Yeah, so I really am a little worried. But I guess we'll all know soon enough. I mean, we'll either know...
Not necessarily,
We'll either
no.
know Tuesday night or sometime in 2021, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. But eventually we will find out.
Yes.
And I have my fingers crossed. I know who I want. If you guys are regular listeners, you know who we want as well. But it's just going to be what it's going to be, right?
That is true.
So I wanted to play this clip, which kind of ties into what we're talking about. It's Lewis Black, of course. Democrats are psychotic and Republicans are idiotic.
You know, the blue-collar audience is perceived to be right-wing. Your crowd's perceived to be left-wing.
If you looked at my crowd, when they come in a room, I gave up on judging what the fuck people think. I got people coming in with, like, spikes through their eyeballs and fucking tottering in at the age of 962 and an 8-year-old that has got ADHD, but he loves the word fuck, and so I'm his favorite person. So the spectrum of people who watch me are not really... I've got just as many conservatives watching me as I do the other side.
Real quick, not to interrupt it, but I am going to pause it once in a while. This one's actually kind of lengthy, so I don't know how long I'll play it, you know. But you guys, you can find it on YouTube. Just put in Lewis Black, Democrats are psychotic, Republicans are idiotic. And you can watch the whole thing. But it has Lewis Black on it, obviously. It has Kathleen Madigan's on it.
Mm-hmm.
Ron White is on it.
Uh-huh.
And there's a couple other guys. I mean, obviously the host guy, don't know who he is. And then one or two other, I believe, men. But I don't know who they are now, because you haven't heard this, so, right, at all?
Yeah.
Like, I know you didn't, I didn't show it to you.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if you've heard it before.
No.
By hearing it now. Okay, so, sorry. Yeah, so just saying, Kathleen Madigan's on it, Ron White's on it, and a couple other people.
How much of a character is Larry? It's really Dan, right?
I tell you, it's a little bit of a character. His father was a preacher and a pig farmer from Nebraska, so you add those two together, you get Larry the Cable Guy.
You know, I wrote the intro to his book.
That's right, you did.
I did, and the
about
reason
that.
I did it was I was pissed at people giving him shit for busting his hump and fucking getting to a point where he's successful and then saying that, you know, he was a right-wing lunatic. Now, he is, but, you know, you don't call somebody out for that because it's not really his act. His act is like, you know, hee-haw to the 10th power. And I don't think there are any sides left anymore, to be honest, because both sides, to me, both sides are so deeply mired in shit that it is beyond my comprehension how to do what it is I'm supposed to fucking do anymore.
I love
But
Lewis
here's the thing,
Black.
the whole right-left thing is a bell. But most of us are at the top of the bell. But we don't hear about that. We only hear the extremist position, so we assume everybody's
Well,
either
as of late, I don't think we are on a bell. I don't know what we're at. I do know this. I do know that there's a certain group of people in the country who believe in the individual to the point of it's the most important fucking thing on the planet is the individual. And me, I'm it. And then there's another group of people who believe that government, a collective, the group, and that's the most important thing on earth. So that you have a group of people who read Ayn Rand and fucking took a piece of fiction. How do you read fiction and come up with a political philosophy?
Ask Christians.
It's fiction. It's fiction. Christians, I don't give a shit. That's a book that somebody at least comes up with some mumbo fucking jumbo and stands there in a hat and does some fucking shaky things. And it makes it work. I'm talking about somebody by themselves reading a goddamn book and then coming out with this libertarian thing and the beyond that we are it. I am the most important thing on the fucking planet. And that we are teetering at that position now where these people believe that the individual is so profoundly important and the government and the collective is a piece of shit. And that's because of communism. If you allow this group of people to actually work together, we're fucked. Because the next thing you know, we'll all be on farms fucking working together and singing those shitty communist songs. We're at...
Sorry. He's always said that there's nothing, he says, I think, and I quote, like verbatim, there's nothing worse than a Democrat and Republican working together. Yeah. It's so sad if it really is true. Lately, it's been true.
Yeah.
Now, but I don't know. I'm gonna have you look at the other two people on here, and other than the host, because I think he's just the host, but to see who they are. But it's it's interesting.
At this point now, I think where it's not liberal conservative, it's psychotic and idiotic.
Well,
I
maybe
didn't
it's
want
because
them to throw her out.
nobody, no matter even how much you might like Sarah
This is the
Palin,
same one.
can actually envision a positive joke about Sarah Palin.
I made the decision after she was nominated, and I heard her speak the first couple of times after a couple of weeks, and I knew she was like, for me, a mother lode. But I was so shocked that she was running. It stunned me so much. I said on stage, I wouldn't make jokes about her because I could not live in this world if I believed she was a real person. And so I have, for the entire time that she's been around, treated her as a hallucination.
I love talking to you about the time you did the White House press corps dinner.
Yeah,
You were right there in the belly of the beast.
yeah.
What was that like, man?
Well, what was weird, Dick Cheney is to my right, and to my left is Mitch McConnell. And it's really almost more than you can bear. And I look to my right, and Cheney is laughing his tits off at my stuff. I mean, wow, slapping his knees and having the time of his fucking life. And all I'm thinking is, I am evil. And I'm waiting for the stents to pop and stuff. And then he's laughing his tits off, and half the audience is like, Mr. Black. He's like, pricks. And I'm dealing with that, and then
I just wanted to say that I think he's done more than just the one, because he's talking about Dick Cheney, and in a second he's going to talk about Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember him saying he did a presidential lunch? What is it?
The White House Correspondents dinner.
Yes. Thank you. I remember him talking about it on one of his comedies where he did one, and it was George Bush's,
Yeah.
and then Dick Cheney had to fill in,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so that was the same one. Because George Bush got called away to attend somebody's funeral.
The Pope died.
The Pope died. That's right. So Bush had to go. Dick Cheney had to fill in.
Yes.
So, okay, so that is the only correspondence dinner he's done.
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
And I turn to the left, and Mitch McConnell, if I'm ever near that fucking son, I'm in a punch. I mean, you know, we're not supposed to be violent in what we say anymore.
Yeah,
that son of a bitch, I'm gonna punch in the face. I mean it. Besides, not his politics, I don't give a shit about it. But as an audience member, and you're sitting there, fucking smile. Fucking pretend you're having a good time, you son of a bitch. You don't have to laugh. But he's just such a, and it was like he was holding a shit in or something. And I'd go from him back to him and back to him, and it was a horrifying experience.
That's so bizarre, because whenever comics are having like shitty sets, you always find that one audience member who really likes you. So every time you're like, this is going really bad, that guy still likes me. Your guy was Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney.
So you had to, like, you had to shake hands with Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a moral dilemma for me.
Nah, he's a guy. What he's in?
Well, no, he's not just a
Now,
guy.
Mitch McConnell might have a goddamn dilemma. He got the joke.
I mean, you gotta shake his hand if Dick laughed the whole time.
And I'll tell you a really great Dick Cheney follow-up story. I am at a Larry King benefit, for, he's got a big, huge heart fund thing, and they buy hearts and shove them in people. They do something. And so I'm doing this event, and my mother and father are there. My mother, it is a moral thing for my mother, because Dick Cheney is in the other room. People are paying like $5,000 for a photo with Dick Cheney. They come over to me and say, would you like your photo taken with Dick Cheney? I turn to my mother and say, would you like your photo taken with Dick Cheney? I'm not getting my photo taken with that son of a bitch. Never. And then she says, and besides that, there's John McLaughlin of the McLaughlin Group was sitting 15 feet away. And she says, I got to get over to that son of a bitch and tell him what a turd he is. So I turn to my father and I say, would you like your picture taken with Dick Cheney? And he goes, great. And he pops up. So I now traipse into the room. And now it's Dick Cheney, his wife, Larry King and his wife, and we come around the corner. My father is about 86 at the time, and his hearing is kind of shot, and he sees Larry King's wife for the first time, and at the top of his lungs goes, Jesus, I didn't know that Larry King married a shiksa.
All right, real quick, because that was his punchline. A shitza. Is he talking about a shih tzu? Put your mic on.
No, that's the. It's a Jewish. It's a very beautiful Jewish woman, according to Jewish people.
Oh, so like a geisha for Chinese.
Yeah, I guess yes, but the geisha also aside, they're supposed to be like servants.
But they're beautiful.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what a shitza is?
Shiksa.
Oh,
Yes.
Shiksa. Okay, I learned so many new things with
Yiddish. You'd have to, I'm not 100% sure.
Is Yiddish Jewish?
Yeah, Yiddish is a Jewish language. There's Hebrew and there's Yiddish.
So much I don't know.
Hebrew is the ancient Jewish language. Yiddish is kind of the more modern Jewish language.
Okay, what is Latin the ancient language of?
The Romans.
Like what now?
Well,
French?
So French. So you have Latin, which is a dead language. Nobody uses it anymore. It's taught in high schools, and it's used for legal stuff and scientific stuff, things like that.
So don't say nobody uses it then.
That's true.
Scientists know Latin then?
And scientists, like, they name things in Latin. Like all the species of various things are all Latin.
Oh.
So, canine would be a Latin word, essentially, yes.
I think that's probably my favorite Latin word then. Okay.
But all the so-called Romance languages, which would be French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese.
Tell me you love me in French again.
Je t'adore.
Je t'adore. It sounds like shut the door.
Yes.
Okay. And now obviously he did the punchline. He's gonna I think Kathleen Madigan's gonna speak here, and then it's gonna be over. But I just thought it was a very interesting conversation. I've never seen it. You've never heard it.
No.
I mean, I saw it earlier. I watched it before now, but it's just interesting.
And that kind of takes the whole political thing out of the room.
It becomes all other ball.
I took the gig. I accepted the gig. As soon as you accept the gig, you accept the responsibility of the gig. There is nothing on any level to be gained in the universe or that moment in time for me to turn to Dick Cheney, who has risen and at least showed up because Bush didn't fucking show up. That's the only reason I got this prick sitting there.
Plus, I would never be one of those people. I don't care who's in charge. I still, maybe this is like my Missouri hillbilly side, I still do respect the office.
So what, the president of Germany was, you had to respect the office even when Hitler was
If you're
there?
German,
Well, yeah. If you're German.
What about the Germans who said, no, I don't respect it, that's wrong, that's not what Germany is,
Really?
you don't speak
Really?
for me.
We're gonna
Well, aren't they the good guys?
We're gonna go down, really, you know, Lou knows there's nothing you can talk about World War II and the Germans that I don't know. This could be
Is that
another
true?
18 hours.
Seriously?
Yes, I just got the whole Nazi thing they advertise on TV, unseen footage. Oh, I mean, here he is at the Wolf's Lair. What? I never saw this shit. What? And now they've got interviews because the people are old enough in Germany. They finally have said, I think they think, fuck it, we're gonna die, so they're being honest. And now there's all these old Germans going, well, we were not telling the truth. We kind of thought he was awesome. We did. We were all in. We didn't like the Jews. We were sad about being German. He made us happy about being German. It was all great till it got weird.
So I wanted to real quick say rest in peace to Sean Connery. Mm-hmm. And you said that, like, I never watched. I was going to say Magnum P.I. Oh, people are going to be mad at me. What is it?
James Bond.
Yes, James Bond. 007, right?
Yes.
Yeah, him. And he was, what, the first, right?
Yes.
Okay. I used to get him mixed up.
From Dr. No to Diamonds Are Forever, I believe.
You know what? I heard that on something. What?
Well, there's like 20 some movies of it, and they all have, titles that are, they all have different titles. So the very first one was Dr. No, and the last one that Sean Connery was on, I believe, was Diamonds Are Forever.
Okay, I hear Diamonds Are Forever, and I just think maybe he was in a commercial about buying your girlfriend a diamond.
No.
And I did see something that I was watching that showed that his big break was a movie where he was on a beach with a woman or something.
I don't know. I don't know his whole career.
I forget what they said the name of it was, but apparently that's what pushed him into stardom.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have thought it was the Magnum P. I know. The 007, what is his name? James Bond.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have thought that would have. But apparently there was some kind of beach movie before that pushed him into,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, rest in peace. Now, he was older, right?
Yeah, he was 90.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, so he lived a good, long life, right?
Yeah.
He retired after his last thing. Did you know that?
Yeah.
He retired. He announced it. He announced that he was retiring, and he said he just wants to spend time with his family and that he wants to play tennis, and he did. He just stopped, doing everything. So good for him. Okay, so Halloween was yesterday, and I just wanted to ask everyone how their Halloween went because, let's face it, weird year. Did you guys get kids knocking on your door? I didn't. I think we got more kids this year than we've ever had since we've lived here, and we've lived here 6 years.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, which is very odd to me. But Phil and I just filled a bucket with candy put it outside, and let the kids help themselves. Now, I must say that I told him these kids are going to come up. Their parents obviously are going to be with them. They're going to take one piece of candy, and that's it. And so I watched them. I spied. And every single one except for one child, all the rest, they would look up at our house to see if anyone was looking, and they would quick grab like a handful and shove it in their little bag or pumpkin thing and like run away. It was so cute. It was the cutest thing. I did say on another podcast before, quite a few podcasts ago, I can't stand Halloween. They do it away with it forever. I liked it when my son was younger, and now I just don't care. It's cool for the kids, but I hate it. I absolutely can't stand it. But anyway, yesterday wasn't so bad. Stick a bucket outside, let them take it themselves, and then they just go away.
Then they fuck off.
They do. They fuck off and they leave you alone. You know? I tried when they knocked on the door and said trick or treat to give Phil away and say big trick. They
very funny.
They weren't having it, were they?
No. Yeah. Nobody wanted
you. Sorry. I tried. Another thing, daylight savings time.
Mm-hmm.
So last night we all gained an hour. And good thing. I think we were up till like 3 something this morning.
Yeah, it was actually 2, but it was the equivalent of 3. Yeah.
Okay, it was actually 3, but it was then changed to. Okay.
It changes at 2 to 1.
We were up late, people.
Yes.
That's all.
We're up late most weekends.
Yeah. Well, we have your son most weekends, and he keeps us up. I mean, he don't go to bed till he feels like it. He's 11. He's like, screw you guys. I'm doing me.
He goes to bed at mid.
Yeah.
Except for when he wakes up and says, I want to stay up.
He does do that.
Which isn't that often.
But he does. He'll wake up
only 50% of the time.
He'll wake up in the middle of the night and then wake his dad up and say, I can't sleep. So, did you know that there are and they might have done this before, but it's a little more or a lot more this election year. People are making wagers, bets, money on who's going to win.
Yeah, that's always happened.
Yeah, but I think it's
even
happening
before.
A lot.
Yeah, the online betting is legal in a lot of states and a lot of places, so it's happening more. But it's always
online
happened
betting.
in Vegas.
Yeah, I did know that. Like it's allowed now in Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
It's allowed in New Jersey. I'm not 100% sure about Pennsylvania.
Okay, but you're allowed to bet on the election?
Yeah.
That is the weirdest thing. I just
really.
think it's weird.
They've been betting in Vegas on the elections for 100 years probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Again, so much I don't know.
Well, not quite 100, probably around 80.
Like allowed to, it's okay, Brooke. Allowed to bet on who is going to win the presidency of your country.
Yeah.
That just seems odd to me. Okay, so earlier you were telling me, and as much as I follow up on all this stuff, and I try my best to keep track because I'm interested. Like, I really am interested. And maybe that's boring. Maybe, like, I'm just interested in politics. I'm 43 now. I not only never gave a shit before, but I never understood any of it. And maybe that's why I didn't give a shit. That and my age. Okay, so you were telling me tonight, a couple hours before we started taping this, and as you're in the middle of telling me this story, I cut you off and said, wait, save it for the podcast, because I'm very surprised I did not know this. Mm-hmm. With everything I keep up on and that I watch, that I'm interested in with all this political, historical, political stuff. You were telling me that Joe Biden was going to rally in Texas.
Yes.
And kind of got kicked out before he even got there. And I'm like, wait, what? And you said it was a little scary. Not scary, but scary.
It was scary. I would be scared.
And
they
I said,
bashed
stop right
somebody's
there.
car.
Yeah, so you didn't tell me they bashed anything. Like, I told you stop there. So I wanted to hear it for the first time while we're talking
Okay.
on the air. So go ahead.
Well, he was on, him and a bunch of people, obviously, were on his campaign bus. The video I saw was taken by a car that was behind the campaign bus.
Did they have anything to do with the campaign bus?
Well, yeah, they were people that were with the campaign but weren't on the bus.
Okay.
And although I didn't watch it, there were also some videos taken by the Trump crazy people. But basically, they surrounded the bus with a bunch of SUVs and all kinds of vehicles.
Surrounded the Biden bus.
Yes.
Trumpists did. Okay.
Yes. We're tailgating it.
How many Trump vehicles were there? Apparently, a lot of them are
Well,
going to
yeah,
surround the bus.
it's not official Trump vehicles. They're just Trump supporters' vehicles. We should make that clear.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
It was something like around 10 or 12.
Yeah, but again, when it comes to Trump supporters, it would take just one. So go ahead.
So they surrounded the bus and they were tailgating it. And there was a vehicle that was trying to get in between the guy tailgating the back of the bus.
Biden's bus.
Yeah,
Okay.
Biden's bus. And, trying to, I guess, create a buffer that would be somebody else with the Biden campaign. And they were trying to create a buffer in between the Trump supporters and the bus.
Trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, and they got the guy bashed their car with his car.
One of the Trump people
yes.
bashed. Wow.
So the guy's trying to come over to the right to get in between the Trump supporter and the bus, and the Trump supporter swings his car to the left to bash the other car while they're both driving at, 40 or 50 miles an hour. And, basically runs him out of there.
It's not me. That is some crazy new shit for America, isn't it?
No, America's crazy.
No. Don't like get me wrong. I totally understand. I know that, but don't you think it's so much more? It's like gang against gang now.
Yeah,
It's not the same violence that it used to be. It's chaos to a whole nother level.
yeah. In a sense, yes. Is this anything new for the last 4 years?
No, I
not
know
necessarily.
that as well. But that's what I'm saying. Before Trump,
Yes,
took,
but and Trump, it's not all Trump's fault.
no, but he doesn't help.
He's a symptom, not the disease
Yeah,
itself.
well, he doesn't help.
Yeah, that is for damn sure. But we need to figure out how to live with one another, how to do that, how to not be afraid of one another.
Yeah. It's just scary. I don't want another civil war, and that's what it's pointing to.
That would never work.
Well, it scares me. I have to be honest.
There'll be a lot of skirmishes like that. There will be a lot of things like that. But in order to have a civil war, you need organization. And you need organization on a massive level. And these little groups, that are skirmishing lack a bigger organizational thing.
They lack it?
Yes, they lack it. So I don't believe there's going to be another civil war.
Oh, I hope
And
you're
even
right.
if there was, are we really going to try and is the North really going to try and keep Texas and et cetera? I don't know that there would necessarily be a civil war. It's kind of like it's a civil Cold War almost already.
Right.
But an actual civil war, I think it's more going to be a lot of skirmishes.
Well, I think it is a modern day civil war now, or,
Yeah.
or close to.
Yeah, it's a modern day civil Cold War, essentially.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's not good.
It scares me. Okay. I wanted to read a cute story. Well, it's cute to me. About a cat in Thailand. Okay. A pet owner's worry about a missing cat ended on a hilarious and happy note when the feline returned safely, but with a note about its debt. Okay? A chubby gray tabby cat that went missing in Thailand for 3 days returned home. However, not without creating some trouble. While it was away from home, it incurred some debt. 3 mackerels, to be exact, which are fish, right?
Yes.
Okay. As the owner again spotted the pet sitting at a distance outside their home, on closer inspection noticed a new collar and a place card hanging from its neck. In a handwritten note on the cardboard, it read, "Your cat kept eyeing the mackerels at my stall, so I gave him 3. The kind shop owner who treated the animal identified herself as Auntie May at alley number 2, and even passed down her number, so I guess she wrote it on the collar too. The person who owned the cat shared the story on Facebook along with photos of the cat and used the hashtag cat slave. I don't know. And soon it went viral, leaving netizens in splits. Whatever that is. I guess Thailand.
People who use
Thailand
No.
civilians.
Meaning netizens would be people who are on the internet.
Duh. Okay. Going for 3 days and returned with debt. Cat slave, the post read. Hashtag cat slaves. The picture left many laughing out loud on the platform, and several users commented on the post saying that the cat was super cute and that it looked totally unapologetic. I don't blame it. While some offered to pay for the mackerels, so cute. Others lauded the fishmonger. I guess scolded her, said something to her. Mm-hmm. I guess that's lauded.
Well, lauded would be to just bring it up in conversation, essentially, or it's not necessarily to scold. No.
Well, while many said that Auntie May might not have actually wanted the owner to pay for the fish, so many opinioned, I guess, but it's spelled wrong, that she had left the contact number for the owner to let her know the pet was safe. I just thought it was a really cute story. Mm-hmm. And the cat's cute, obviously. Out there begging for a fish.
Absolutely.
Saturday night was the SNL Saturday Night Live. John Mulaney was the host, who we absolutely love him. I absolutely love him. And, of course, the whole thing was hilarious. And Colin Jost, the one who does the...
Weekend Update.
Yes, thank you. The Weekend Update, the news thingy.
He's also head writer.
Of that?
He's head writer of SNL.
Colin Jost?
Yep.
Wow.
Doesn't mean he writes everything. It just means he approves a lot of the shit that the.
Well,
that
when
the
John
other writers-
Mulaney, he used to write for the show.
Yes.
And he was a head writer, right?
I'm not sure he was a head writer. He was a writer. They have like 12 or 13 writers at a
Well,
time.
I didn't know Colin was one.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Anyway, Colin Jost, the one who does the Weekend Update with Michael Che, and I love them two together. It's phenomenal. So Colin married Scarlett Johansson.
That's nice.
And I just thought that was really cute. Like, we knew they were dating. I think I told you a while back, right?
Yeah.
But good for them. Congratulations to them. And that's a wrap, everyone. We will talk to you after the election. Good luck to all of you, whoever you want, and to win. And I hope everyone has a great election night. I think we're going to order pizza.
Yep.
And I don't know, throw Legos at the TV if we get mad. Or at least I will. If you guys want to get a hold of us, shoot us a text, leave a message, 856-882-9670, or email
at y.bother.pod@gmail.com.
All right. We love you guys. We will talk to you a week or less.
Good night.
Good night.